Hello, House of Master Users here, 9th day of Christmas, and it's Iron Man 3. Well, considering that no Marvel MCU movies were released this year, I had to make a workaround every now and then, and this does take place during Christmas in 2012, and, well, what's stopping me from doing it? I can do whatever I want. So, the third movie of the Iron Man trilogy, the 7th movie of the MCU. People say it's better than Iron Man 2, but that's about it. What do I think of it? It's good. It's a good MCU movie, not the best, but let's give it a go. So the premise of Iron Man 3, taking place after the events of Avengers 1, Tony Stark is now back in his hometown, just doing his iron stick, trying to of course, balancing out being Iron Man, CEO of Stark Industries, and of course his love with Pepper Potts. But a new mysterious villain known as the Mandarin shows up. This Mandarin is a terrorist who is causing havoc for America. Unaware of what's actually going. After he injures after he almost kills Stark's butler Happy Hogan, Stark ends up doing the worst decision ever made by a superhero, confessing, revealing where he lives, which by giving his exact address, causing the Mandarin to attack and blow up his house. Again, dumbest decision, but Nostalgia Creek Doug Walker already made fun of it in his Disney December review. But so after Stark of course escapes and with an Iron Man suit and hides out in a kid's garage, rebuilding his strength and getting ready to confront his fears as well as get over his panic attacks that he's been suffering at the point since Avengers 1. So what does work? Well, of course, the acting. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He still does well even in a movie that isn't as good for MCU standards, just like this. The action definitely received a step up in this film, with especially considering this was coming off the heels of the Avengers, and that movie was such a landmark when it comes to superhero action. So the action had to step up, and it worked well. The effects are still good. They're great. And I will admit, the post-credit scene is hilarious, where Stark is telling his story to a very bored Bruce Banner. That's a little bit funny. But we do have problems. Let's start with the main one. Let's start with certain story elements. As I said, the dumbest decision a superhero can make. Yeah, that's definitely a huge one. Yeah, I would have also liked a bit more of Rhodey, of James Rhodes, Don Cheadle, War Machine, or in this movie as he's known as Iron Patriot. He is in it, but not much. I'm not sure why they swapped out Jon Favreau for Shane Black as director in this, and Black does a good job, but I would prefer if Favreau finished off the trilogy. But let's move on to the big problem, the villain. Now, look, MCU movies often have this problem, but especially in the early days before he reached 2017, but the villain in this is horrible. I mean, you would think that when you're seeing Ben Kingsley as this terrorist, you expect something big. I mean, you've got Ben Kingsley facing up against Robert Downey Jr. Now, in the comics, the Mandarin is an alien, so there's been a bit of a workaround. But what they do with this character, the twist they perform, is absolutely horrendous. And who do we get? Who is the true villain in the end? It's some asshole in a suit, much like the first two movies. Only this time he's played by Guy Pearce. It's not good. Yeah, I would have preferred if they have done something different. But in the end, I still say give it a go. Iron Man 3 is... MCU fans, you've seen it. Keep on watching it. Still a good movie. Check it out. I mean, yes, the villain twist is horrible, but... yeah, I still say give it a shot. 7 out of 10 has stars from me. So we got 3 more reviews left. Thank goodness. In the meantime, So I'll see you for my next review, which is Christmas special starring one of my favourite actors, much like I ended off with last year's Christmas with a Christmas special starring him. Now I'm going to end off on the 10th video, do another Christmas special of his on the 10th video. But in the meantime, Have Some House Reviews is out. Catch you later for my next review. Ciao.